What is the subjection of women? Have you ever wondered about the historical context of women's rights and the fight for equality? The subjection of women refers to the social, legal, and political conditions that place women in a position of inferiority compared to men. This situation often leads to women being denied equal rights, freedoms, and opportunities. It confines them to roles defined by patriarchal norms, limiting their participation in public life and economic independence. In the 19th century, thinkers like Harriet Taylor Mill and her husband, John Stuart Mill, brought attention to this issue from a liberal perspective. They argued that the subordination of women was not a natural state but, rather, a product of entrenched social institutions and customs. Harriet Taylor Mill emphasized that women should have equal political, civil, and social rights. She believed that access to education and employment was essential for women to thrive. Harriet Taylor Mill critiqued the institution of marriage as it existed during her time. She compared it to a form of slavery, where women were dependent on men and often faced physical and legal constraints. She advocated for a model of marriage based on mutual respect and companionship, rather than one of dominance and submission. John Stuart Mill expanded on these ideas in his essay, The Subjection of Women. He argued for complete political equality between the sexes. He condemned the legal and social subordination of women as violations of justice and liberty. Mill pointed out that simply granting women the right to vote or access to education was not enough. He believed that broader social reforms were necessary to dismantle the structures that reinforced women's subordination. Both Harriet Taylor Mill and John Stuart Mill viewed the subjection of women as a barrier to the development of individuality and freedom for everyone in society. They believed that true equality required changing social attitudes, educational practices, and economic conditions. This would allow women to develop their talents and participate fully in both public and private life. In practical terms, their advocacy meant pushing for equal legal rights, including property rights and political enfranchisement. They called for access to education and professional opportunities without gender-based restrictions. They also sought reforms in marriage and family laws to ensure women's autonomy and protection from domestic violence. Additionally, they aimed for social and cultural changes to challenge traditional gender roles. The liberal critique of women's subjection is rooted in the belief that freedom and justice demand equality of opportunity. The work of Harriet Taylor Mill and John Stuart Mill laid important foundations for feminist liberalism. They connected women's emancipation to broader ideals of individual liberty and social progress. Their writings continue to inspire discussions on gender equality and women's rights today.